In a medical research lab at Michigan's Wayne State University, our remarkable conspiracy test is underway. The blood samples from our 5 Gulf War volunteers have now arrived at the lab.
We are trying to answer a question that has not been answered for 15 years. Is there or is there not an illness called Gulf War syndrome?
These 5 vets are convinced Gulf War illness is real and that they suffer from it. The U.S. military and most independent researchers have declared that Gulf War illness is a media phenomenon. But a 2007 government-funded study determined that a small test group of Gulf War vets who had been exposed to low levels of sarin nerve gas did suffer long-term brain damage. However, the sarin findings do not account for most claims of Gulf War illness. In this lab, we have arranged for an advanced DNA test to see if radiation from the use of depleted uranium weapons could be another and possibly the principal cause of Gulf War illness. The 5 vets we sampled served in different places and at different times. None were in the area believed to have been downwind of the Camisea sarin release. After the Gulf War, all 5 started getting sick.
I'm not sure exactly how long it took me to know that something was wrong, something had changed. My wife made a comment to me the day I got off the airplane. She noticed a change in me.
The blood samples are undergoing a spectral karyotyping analysis, or SKY test, that looks for damage to their chromosomes.
SKY technology we're talking about. We paint each of the chromosomes use a unique color.
Fluorescent markers give each separate chromosome a unique spectral signature. In a way never possible before, it can determine if a person's chromosomes are broken, garbled, or missing. Small amounts of chromosome damage are part of the normal aging process. But certain types of damage are characteristic of radiation exposure.
Radiation-induced damage can be followed, actually, to the actual picture of the chromosomes on the screen. Alpha radiation is not very penetrating. It has very short span in the tissue, but immensely damaging effect.
The blood cells for the SKY test are first separated from the surrounding fluid by a centrifuge.
We spun it down. You can see there's a pellet of cells right here.
The cells are then flooded with water to reveal their inner structures.
When you drop them onto the side, they burst.
A solution containing a mixture of fluorescent dyes is added. Each dye molecule is bonded to a fragment of genetic material that will only attach to a specific DNA sequence. Each chromosome has a different mix of DNA patterns and therefore absorbs a unique combination of dyes to become a specific color. The SKY machine's built-in computer can quickly identify which is which. Graduate students then mark each chromosome. The SKY software creates a table for easy comparison. A normal set of human chromosomes has 22 matched pairs, plus the 2 sex chromosomes. Double X for a female, XY for a male. The color coding and paired black and white images make any genetic anomalies immediately apparent.
I just found a 1521 translocation.
Wow, you can see the color here. Okay.
We have brought Dr. Asef Durakovic to Detroit to find out if this test will back up his theory. The results next on Conspiracy Test. Gulf War veterans believe their wide variety of seemingly unrelated ailments were caused by exposure to a toxic battlefield. But independent tests have failed to determine a link between the Gulf War and most veterans' illnesses. Now, in the Molecular Medicine and Genetics Lab at Michigan's Wayne State University, this spectral karyotyping, or SKY test, may reveal a connection among the 5 Gulf War vets we're testing. Dr. Asef Durakovic has come to see if the test results show the kind of radiation-induced genetic damage he predicted. Technicians have isolated the chromosomes, and computer software displays the results in vivid color. Dr. Henry Heng, the head of the lab, shares the results with Dr. Durakovic for the first time.
They have lots of chromosome breakage, like the piece of chromosome 9, they just separate, so we know it's chromosome 9 breakage.
Is it one of the markers for radiation?
This frequency is associated with radiation.
The Sky test results are startling. All 5 of the tested veterans have significant levels of chromosome damage. The damage levels are so high that on average they exceed even those of cancer patients. 3 of the veterans who volunteered DNA samples agreed to allow their cases to be publicly discussed. George Kernigan is patient B1.
We see an 1820 translocation.
Translocation damage happens when a chromosome breaks and the piece is attached to a different chromosome.
This one also shows some aneuploidy, or it shows gain of chromosomes 11, 12, and 18.
Aneuploidy is a gain or loss in the normal number of chromosomes. It is common in cancer patients and is also the cause of profound birth defects like Down syndrome.
This is an example of chromosome breakage that we detected in this patient. Chromosome 9 is in 2 pieces, one right here and one right here. These normally would be stuck together, but a number of factors can cause them to break apart, such as alpha radiation.
Finding chromosome damage associated with radiation in non-cancer patients is highly unusual. Mark Pollard is patient B2. The damage to his chromosomes is considerably worse.
Pieces of 14 have translocated to 7 and 12, as well as leaving just a little fragment of chromosome 14 behind. Here's a second example from that patient where a piece of chromosome 10 has translocated to chromosome 3. Again, not good news. There's a number of factors that can cause a chromosome to break. Radiation exposure is a major cause of chromosomal breaks.
Richard